What's going on, you guys? Craftsman Crusher here, back with another video. Today, I got some pretty big updates for Craftsman Crusher. Um, just by looking at it, you can probably see a couple. First things first is I got a tether switch on there, because that is a requirement if you're going to ride at TTC. And we had to wire it in a little bit differently. So the way this is wired is this engine will start without or with that plugged in, but the key has to be in the off position. If you pull this off, it will die. But if the key is in the on position, when you pull that off, the key will override this and it will stay running. So you can kind of use it as a dual purpose there. See, we ran the wiring. It's wired in to the coil kill and works. Next thing that has been done is we put some steering stops in there. So now the steering doesn't hit the hood or go into the frame. And that is just some 1/4 inch thick gauge steel. We cut it and then welded it on there. We actually used my welder that is at my uncle's house. As you can see, penetrated the welds really nice. If it is a little bit dirty, because I did drive a little bit while I was down there, test it out. And you can see the one on that side and the one on this side. And as you can see, this front end is officially junk. It's starting to split on the top. We welded that solid, and the bushing on this side is done. You can't even, like, it is, I can't believe this thing hasn't fallen apart. This end was twisted when we went to start doing mods, so I gotta get a new front end before I take this thing to TTC. Next thing that we did is we trimmed a little section of the hood out on both sides, so when you turn this thing, it doesn't clip the hood. So if you turn this thing this way, the steering stops hit, and it still doesn't hit the hood now, which is great. Because before, it would always hit the hood and pull it out, and just grab it and yank it this way, and kind of started to break a little bit. See, it started to pull away, and you can push it back in place, but it's not going to stay there because of damage. So really nice for those mods right there. The next thing that we did is we fabricated some frame braces to stop this thing from flexing as much. Because if you, let's just say you were driving and then this tire went up, you could just feel the whole frame flexing, and I was really worried of breaking things, and I actually did break something on this side. If I can get down here and show you. Let me see here. As you can see, I broke that training mount. Even we welded it back in. We fixed that up, but it was snapped completely in half from frame flex. So we were able to fix that. I'm glad I did see that, because I have a lot of money into this 820 with the go-kart axle, the ROMS gears, and yeah, it's definitely don't want to be breaking that. And what we did for the frame braces is we took some more 1/4 inch thick gauge steel, but it was angle steel. Let me go get it. Let me go get some cardboard. Alright, so under the Craftsman Crusher here, as you can see, we took the angle steel. This thing would focus, and this is one of the original bolt holes that bolts the fenders to the chassis. So what we did is we drilled a hole in this. We fed the bolt through up above on this side. We bolted it on, and then there was some excess holes in the frame here and there, and we welded that totally solid, so it's on there. And we did the same thing on the other side. And now it does flex a little bit if you go on a hill, but it doesn't do nearly as much as what it did before. So really nice to have that on there. And like I said before, the front end is pretty much done. So I'm in search of a cast iron front end for one of these. I think I might have one, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, those are the updates that we did to Craftsman Crusher. I'm happy with it. I haven't done the official test drive with it yet, even though I've driven it a couple times, because I'm not able to go full speed, full throttle. Well, I wasn't before, because it would hit the hood, and with the hood off, it would hit the frame, and I didn't want to roll over, damage the engine. And now with the damaged front end, I kind of can't. So hopefully next time you see this thing, it'll be on the official test drive. But other than that, this thing's holding up great. I like it. At some point, I got some ATV tires that are a lot wider than these swamp witches. I love these swamp witches, but they're really narrow. This thing is very tipsy. So I'm getting bolt-on hubs with some ATV tires on there. I'm gonna bring those to TTC because with a lot of turns and stuff, I don't want to be flipping over. But I will eventually be getting wider swamp witches with the ATV tires, and I got some different plans for these, and you're guys gonna have to wait and see what those are. This thing, I have not showed you this tractor yet. This is a Murray. This was down at the local baseball field in the town where I live. They use this to help groom the fields, pull a trailer with a brush, and do all that. And they gave it to me for free because they were having issues with it. So they asked me, and I happily took it. As you can see, it's apart right now because I'm in the process of pulley swapping this thing. Because it goes like 2 miles an hour whenever you drive it. It has a 13.5, it's got a 13 horsepower IC Gold flathead. I put a 13.5 horsepower carburetor on it because I had it and it worked. It does have the pull starter pulley on it that was on the Gilson because the battery is dead and I didn't feel like buying a new one. And the electrical doesn't work off the key. It works off of this electrical switch under here. And as you can see, the battery is dead. The tranny is out of it because I'm working on getting a really small pulley on the back for some good speed because I really want this thing to be a racer because since it's a Murray, the clutch pulley is in the back. So with that being good, I'm going to take advantage of that and put a big pulley in the front and a small pulley in the back. Right now, I'm in the process of putting a 2-inch pulley on the back. I know I might get some belt slip, but I'm going to be adjusting the clutch so it doesn't have too much belt slip because with it was right now, the clutch was all the way back. Whenever you drove in water, the belt would slip, but you couldn't pull back on the clutch because it would just hit the metal, and you couldn't do anything about it. The throttle does work. It just works backwards because I had to drill new holes here and here to mount a different... I had to flip the throttle around to put a different style cable on here, so that is high and that is low. And I adjusted it so when you pull up on this all the way, it kills the engine. Because I don't know what is wrong with this key switch, but every time you go to turn this key, it is stuck in place. You can't move it at all. So, yeah, as you say, they called this thing the Greenie Monster because that's the name of the park was Greenie. But yeah, I'm very satisfied with this thing, and I'm really excited to see what it turns out into. It doesn't have an 820 in the rear. It's got I'll show you what tranny it has in it. I have not been able to figure it out. The best thing about this is it's really low to the ground. Obviously, it's up on a jack stand, but when it is, it's really low. And with the spacers that was on the tranny, it's really wide, so it's harder to roll over. I have rolled this thing a couple times, but it shouldn't be too hard to roll, or it shouldn't be easy to roll. I will be leaving this thing unlocked just because, eventually I'll get it locked for drifting and stuff, but for now, as high as it's going to be going, I'm going to have to do some other fab work to make it wider and less tipsy, and I don't want to have a locked tranny yet to do that because with an unlocked tranny, when I was driving Craftsman Crusher with an unlocked tranny, it was a lot less easier to roll it, but as soon as I put the locked MST in there, it was really easy to roll. So with the amount of speed that this thing is going to be getting, I don't want that yet, but I will eventually. And here is the transmission for it. As you can see, it's on these pallet things. I don't know what type of Peerless it is, but I know it's a Peerless. It's the same one that's in the Gilson. Having more rusted pulley issues as I did before. I tried to use a 3-jaw puller. It didn't do anything. I soaked it with PB Blaster. It didn't do anything. I tried hitting it with a hammer. It didn't do anything. So fortunately, I think I'm going to have to cut this pulley off, and I do not like doing that at all, but I have no choice at this point, so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, so that's the progress I made on Craftsman Crusher. Made really good progress. So as of right now, it is technically 100% ready. It has all the requirements done in order to ride at TTC. It just needs, so I don't destroy it, as a new front end, which I might have one. If not, I can get one for $100. No big deal. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video, where it's hopefully going to be the next test drive video, or the first official test drive video, Craftsman Crusher. So see you guys in the next one.